Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party welcomes resolutions on the Naga political issue and urban local body elections adopted at the consultative meet in Kohima on Wednesday. Mass-based civil societies, church organizations, tribal ho-hos, political parties and NGOs took part in the meeting. CEO Nagaland holds meeting to review various preparations ahead of biennial election to Council of States in Nagaland, discusses on COVID-19 protocols to be followed, arrangements for videography and various other administrative arrangements. Manipur State Unit Naga People's Front expressed gratitude to all the voters who supported and voted to NPF candidates in Manipur Legislative Assembly elections 2022. NPF contested for 10 seats and won 5 seats out of it. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh tenders his resignation to Governor L.A. Ganesan. Resignation comes a day after the BJP won an absolute majority in the just concluded assembly elections in Manipur, bagging 32 seats in the House of 60. The Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee says that the Nagaland government spends around 65% of the state's budget to pay salaries to its employees, leaving only 35% for development works. The party noted that as per the Finance Ministry's guidelines, the state salary for employees should not exceed 35% of the total budget. Hugs and tears witnessed at the airport as families reunite with the 600 Indian students evacuated from Ukrainian city of Sumy reaches India. Hello viewers of Nagaland TV, I'm Rinki Gogoi and welcome to Nltv Primetime News. Let's see more of the news in details. Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party welcomes resolutions on the Naga political issue and urban local body elections adopted at the consultative meeting in Kohima on Wednesday. Mass-based civil societies, church organizations, tribal ho-hos, political parties and NGOs took part in the meeting. Pradesh Congress Committee said that Nagaland government spends around 65% of the state's budget to pay salaries to its employees, leaving only 35% for development works. The party noted that as per the Finance Ministry guidelines, the state salary for employees should not exceed 35% of the total budget. According to the party, Nagaland has an excess of about 70,000 government employees, which is against the guidelines Finance Ministry. And meanwhile, the Public Grievance Department Chairman of NPCC S. Supong Meren Jamir and Co-Chairman Kedo Watsa in a release also pointed out that out of 144,177 government employees in the state, 22,970 are non-working employees. Moreover, the NPCC asked the state government to clarify the stand and actions taken against those non-working employees. It also questioned the government why it is silent over this serious issue. It suggested accommodating the deserving, genuine educated youths against those non-working employees. A review meeting for the conduct of biennial election to the Council of the States Rajya Sabha 2022 was held on Friday. In accordance with the Election Commission of India's instructions, the various preparations were reviewed, such as COVID-19 protocols to be followed, arrangements for videography and various other administrative arrangements. The meeting was undertaken by the Chief Electoral Officer of Nagaland, V. Shashank Shekhar, with the Returning Officer Crutonio Rio and Assistant Returning Officer Darhu Shupao. And meanwhile, additional CEO Rukovicho Keje and Joint CEO Awa Lorin also attended the meeting. It is to be mentioned that the biennial election to the Council of States in Nagaland will be held on 31st March 2022, while the filing of nominations will be from March 14 to 21st March 2022. The Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party on Thursday welcomed the resolutions on the Naga political issue and the urban local body elections adopted at the consultative meeting in Kohima on Wednesday. Notably, the meeting was organized by the state government with mass-based civil societies, church organizations, tribal ho-hos, political parties and NGOs. NDPP, the major partner of the opposition-less United Democratic Alliance government in Nagaland, in a two-point unanimously resolved that the negotiating parties should earnestly heed the yearning of the Naga people for an early political solution of the Naga issue and to hold the urban local body elections with 33% reservation of seats for the women. Meanwhile, the party appealed to the state government and the people of the state to work hand in hand in making the resolutions a reality with a vision to make a new Nagaland which the future generations will applaud and appreciate. Moreover, the meeting also resolved that the negotiating parties should work towards one solution and one agreement and arrive at a political solution that is honorable, inclusive, transparent and acceptable to the people. The reception-cum-interaction program for the president of NCUI, Dilip Sankhani, and his official team was held on Friday at the Hotel Jaffu, Kohima. Sankhani, while interacting with the officials of cooperative societies and Nagaland State Cooperative Union, said that the cooperatives offer enormous opportunities and can effectively address the task of socio-economic political development of the Northeast region in general and Nagaland in particular, where agricultural products are higher in value. Furthermore, Minister for Agriculture and Cooperation G. Kaito Aye during the program called upon the cooperative societies to work genuinely for the welfare of the people, and those non-functional societies should be deregistered. He further highlighted to the NCUI team that a state can be promoted as a center for organically produced and eco-friendly, as well as Nagaland has been an organic state. The fifth Chumakidima Inter-Ward tournament that kick-started on March 7 is underway. Notably, the football for men semi-finals and women's volleyball final match was played on Friday. It is to be mentioned that the women's volleyball final match was played between Ward 9 and Ward 10, while the match was won by Ward 9. Furthermore, on Saturday, the final football match for men will be played between Ward 9 and Ward 8 at 1 p.m.
Man aji final de puntishe na orna man Ward 9 kan winner paise champion paise to pishi kushi paina se man iman opportunity mai khan la do organize man nukurina to ita kita Ward kan ina tournament time de man khili na aha se man ge opportunity pishi pai no le do man ge mai khan opportunity paise ko le do ina guru le muna se moi kile ko le do moi sports de interest kra na manu se.
The Twensang District Planning and Development Board's monthly meeting for the month of March 2022 is scheduled to be held on 16th March 2022 at 11 a.m. Notably, the meeting will be held at the Deputy Commissioner's Conference Hall in Twensang. It was further notified that all the DPDB members have been requested to follow COVID-19 SOP and attend the meeting positively. Department of Food and Civil Supplies on Friday launched the Financial Inclusion in Fair Price shops with the first launch of Aadhaar-enabled payment system. Notably, the system's citizens or the common can use the platform for cash withdrawal with just the use of their Aadhaar number and their fingerprint authentication. Furthermore, they can avail the benefit without any extra charges or fees. It is to be mentioned that the benefits under the financial inclusion are withdrawal, deposit, transfer, and payments like recharge, electricity, water bill, and many more. Earlier, EPOS were used only for distribution of rice to the beneficiaries, but now all these facilities can be availed with the use of EPOS under the final inclusion scheme. With the irregularity in salaries, government-employed teachers of Nagaland are facing problems as they depend on their salaries to run their family as well as for household and social needs. With the occurrence of such, some of the government-employed teachers have expressed and voiced out their grievances and the problems they face. The teachers appeal to the concerned department as well as the state government to look into the matter at the earliest.
This morning, we want to raise a question to our concerned department and to our state government for on what reason why the government has keep on deferring and keep on pending in issuing our salary. Okay, every time when the department is being delayed, we raise a question to the department. We get the response due to lack of fund. But you see, due to lack of funds should not be a ground for denying issuing a salary to each employee. It is the duty of the government, it is the duty of the department to issue salary to each employees, whether it might be due to lack of fund or whatever reason. It should not be a ground. The government should not be that as an excuse. Okay. As for me, I have a obligation to pay my loans, and then if the government could not pay the loan in time, I as a loanee, I'm being at the mercy of the loaners. Okay? So you see, if the government could not pay the salary in time, we are the one who suffered.
पिछले साल नवंबर से अभी तक हमारा वेतन पेंडिंग सैलरी जारी है और वही नहीं 2012-13 से हम लोग का पेंडिंग करके आ चुके हैं। लेकिन अभी एक बड़ी खुशी मिली है कि हमारे जो है प्रिंसिपल डायरेक्टर सर शाहनवाज ने जो कहा है कि हमारे जो समस्या जो है अभी जल्द से जल्द हो जाने की जो कुछ ऐलान दिया है, इसलिए बड़ी खुशी हो रही है। और वही नहीं कि
Naga People's Front on Thursday, through a press communique, extended their heartiest congratulations to all the 5 of its official candidates for being elected victoriously to the 12th Manipur State Legislative Assembly, which included Leishio Keishing, Ramnangning Muiva, Kaishim Vashum, Loshi Diko, and Awangbao Niumai. The release further mentioned that the NPF is confident that the 5 elected MLAs will be steadfast in their commitment to the welfare of the citizens of Manipur in general and the Hills people in particular, while remaining true to the ideologies and manifestos of the NPF party. The NPF also extended its gratitude to the electorate who deemed the NPF candidates worthy of the votes, whether they won or lost. However, the NPF party stated that they will continue to work with sincerity and dedication for the upliftment of the people and the protection of the inherent rights. Meanwhile, they also congratulated the Chief Minister of Manipur, who led BJP for successfully securing 30 seats in the 60 assemblies. former Chief Minister of Nagaland, T.R. Zeliang, on Friday, through a press release, congratulated the 5 NPF candidates who emerged victorious in the recently held Manipur Assembly elections. He further thanked and paid respect to the party rank and file, both in Manipur and NPF Central Office. Nagaland for their tireless efforts and sacrifice of all party men and women, and more importantly, the voters at large who reposed their faith in the Naga People's Front. He further stated that although 5 other NPF candidates could not make it to the winning list, let's not be discouraged but continue to work harder with the passion and purpose to take the NPF party forward. He further wrote that he earnestly hoped that the entry of the 5 NPF MLAs in the Manipur Legislative Assembly will be the cursor for beginning in peace, socio-economic and political balance in the Naga inhabited areas of Manipur. Vice President of India M. Venkaiah Naidu on Thursday stated that the Mizoram will soon serve as an important gateway of Southeast Asian economics and play an important role in the development and growth of the northeastern region through the ambitious bilateral Kaladan multi-modal transit transport project. With the Act, with the Act East policy of the Government of India, Mizoram is set to enter the stage of center as it will serve all the important gateway of the Southeast Asia economics into the region as well as the country. He also stated that the KMMTTP, which when completed will transform the economy of not just Mizoram but the entire Northeast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit to Gujarat and is holding a roadshow from Gujarat Airport to Kamalam, BJP's office. The roadshow holds importance as Gujarat is scheduled to go for assembly elections this year. However, the dates of these polls have not been announced yet. The roadshow comes just a day after BJP won 4 out of 5 states. In Uttar Pradesh, BJP and its allies won 225 seats out of 403 assembly constituencies. In Uttarakhand, the party secured 47 seats out of 70 seats. In Goa, BJP won 20 seats out of 40 and got the support of independent candidates. While in Manipur, the ruling BJP coalition bagged 31 seats out of 60 seats. Prime Minister Modi participating in Gujarat Panchayat Mahasammelan, and on March 12, Prime Minister Modi will dedicate the building of Rashtriya Raksha University to the nation. Furthermore, Prime Minister Modi is set to declare open the 11th Khel Mahakumbh and deliver an address on the occasion of 12th March. Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyakaram NHM, in collaboration with the Shija Hospitals and Research Institute Impal, is scheduled to conduct a free heart disease screening for children within the age group from 0 to 18 years at the Naga Hospital Authority, Kohima, on March 25. Notably, children detected with heart disease will be referred to Shija Hospitals Impal for the treatment and management. Furthermore, they will also provide financial assistance under RBSK program as per its model costing. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh on Friday called on the Governor of Manipur at the Raj Bhavan to tender his resignation from the Chief Minister's post. Taking down to Twitter, the leader mentioned that he will serve as a caretaker Chief Minister of the state till the new government is formed in Manipur. Notably, Biren and his party BJP created history with a record win of 32 seats in the 60-member 12th Manipur Legislative Assembly elections, whereby Biren retained his stronghold Hengang ARC with a record 5th-time win. The Central Board of Secondary Education has released the Class 10 and 12 Term 2 date sheets. The Term 2 board exams will be held from April 26. The Class 10 exam will get over on May 24 and the Class 12 exam on June 15. As the schools were closed due to pandemic, which has led to learning losses, CBSE has provided more gaps between the two examinations in almost all the subjects in both the classes. However, the board also stated that wherever the gap is a little lesser, such examinations have been kept at a later date so that students can get sufficient time for the preparation of these examinations. The CBSE Term 2 date sheets have also been prepared by avoiding nearly 35,000 subjects combinations to ensure that no two subjects examinations of a student fall on the same date. Amidst the big win of Bharatiya Janata Party in the Assembly elections 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday addressed party workers at the BJP headquarters in Delhi. The Prime Minister in his address called the day a festival of democracy and thanked the voters for their mandate in favor of the BJP in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur. He stated that the Holi starts from March 10 for the Saffron Party as it's a victory by NDA workers. Modi thanked all voters for participating in this festival of democracy and ensuring BJP this victory. The Prime Minister further noted that for the first time a CM will be elected for a second term. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Friday rendered his resignation to the Governor Anandiben Patel at Raj Bhavan in Lucknow a day after the BJP secured a majority in state assembly elections. Meanwhile, the Chief Minister also offered flowers to the statue of Mahatma Gandhi. It is to be mentioned that the governor congratulated Yogi Adityanath on winning the elections. Notably, the party swept Uttar Pradesh elections and the Chief Minister won from Gorakhpur urban seat. Before giving his resignation, Adityanath chaired the last cabinet meeting of the first tenure in Lucknow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit to Gujarat and is holding a roadshow from Gujarat airport to Kamalam, BJP's office. The roadshow holds importance as Gujarat is scheduled to go for assembly elections this year. India and China holds the 15 Corps round commander-level talks at the Indian side of Chushul Moldo meeting point on Friday. According to the sources, the meeting started at around 10 a.m. and both sides will focus to achieve a resolution of balance friction areas and both sides will find a mutually acceptable solution to encourage the positive in nature India. India and China have been holding talks on the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh area to resolve the standoff and 14 rounds have been held so far. Therefore, talks will be held until now. It has resulted in resolution of north and south bank of Pangong, TSO, Galwan and Gogra hot spring areas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the Gujarat Panchayat Mahasammelan in Ahmedabad on Friday on his 2-day visit to his home state Gujarat from March 11 to 12. In his address, Modi said that Mahatma Gandhi's dream of Gramin Vikas must be fulfilled. Prime Minister Modi also said that Gujarat is the land of Bapu and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and Bapu always talked about rural development, self-reliant villages. Therefore, on the occasion of Amrit Mahotsav, Modi asked elected villages representatives to hold grand anniversary celebrations of primary schools to ensure children are encouraged to study. He further asked the village representatives to plant 75 trees in every village during Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to mark the 75 years of India's independence. Prime Minister Modi further noted that more women than men represent Panchayati Raj system in Gujarat. Moreover, Modi discussed how the BJP party organization can serve the people even more effectively and contribute towards the national development. Notably, about 1.4 lakh elected representatives of Taluka and district panchayats and municipal councillors, including women Sarpanch, participated in the Maha Panchayat Sanmelan. Parts of forest area near Kodaikanal Hills in Tamil Nadu's Dindigul district caught fire on Thursday. The blaze was reported on the Perimalmalai Peak, and the fire, which initially started around Thursday midnight in the Manzoor forest area, has spread to Mail Ladum Parai and Kurusadi forest area since Friday morning. Video circulating of the fire incident shows a substantial area of the forest on fire with billows of smoke filling the air over it. As per reports, the forest personnel have been deployed to bring the fire under control as soon as possible. Meanwhile, demands to deploy helicopters to doze off the fire have been put forward by the activists so as to save the wild animals in the forest area. The Jharkhand High Court on Friday deferred the hearing on the bail plea of the Rashtriya Janata Dal chief Lalu Prasad Yadav till April in connection with a fodder scheme case. Earlier in February, a CBI court sentenced Yadav to 5 years imprisonment in the feed fodder scheme case and imposed a fine of Rs 60 lakhs on him. Yadav was declared guilty on February 15. Of the 99 accused in the case, 24 were acquitted, while the 3-year jail terms were pronounced for the 46th accused. Yadav has been found guilty of illegal withdrawals of the Rs 139.35 crores from the Doranda treasury by a special CBI court in Jharkhand's Ranchi. A Russian airstrike totally destroyed a maternity hospital on Wednesday afternoon in the port city of Mariupol. Notably, about 17 people, including few infants, were reportedly injured in the airstrike, and people and children under the wreckage. Meanwhile, reacting to the airstrikes, Ukraine President Zelensky tweeted that how long will the world be an accomplice ignoring terror? President Zelensky demanded Russian military to stop the killings, and he further accused the Russians of losing humanity. On the other hand, people in Mariupol cited that the ground shook more than a mile away when the Russian aerial attacks happened. Meanwhile, the police and the soldiers rushed to the scene to evacuate the victims, including pregnant and bleeding women on a stretcher. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky refuted Russia's claim that Ukraine is developing biological weapons and planning for a chemical attack. Zelensky posted a video on Facebook and refuted, saying that no chemical or any other weapons of mass destruction were developed in Ukraine. He stated that the accusations makes him worried because the Ukrainians have been repeatedly convinced, and if they want to know Russia's plans, they should look at the Russia accuses others of doing. The war between Russia and Ukraine has entered the 16th day, with Kyiv claiming that Russian forces have attacked major cities in the country, including Dnipro and Luhansk, and with fatalities reported following explosions and air strikes. According to the reports, a 40-mile-long Russian convoy near Kyiv has largely been dispersed as the fight for the capital continues. Meanwhile, about 100,000 people were evacuated via humanitarian corridors in the several parts of Ukraine over the past 2 days. Meanwhile, Ukraine has accused Russia of recruiting former fighters of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, the terror organizations, for war crimes in Ukraine. And on the other hand, Britain announced asset freezes and travel bans on 386 members of the Russian Duma who voted for the independence of the 2 breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine. Notably, on Wednesday, the Russian Foreign Ministry claimed that it is in possession of documents that suggest components of the biological weapons being developed in Ukraine. The Russian Foreign Ministry alleged that the United States had been working to develop bioweapons in Ukraine. However, Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday that there had been some progress in Moscow's talks with Ukraine. Also, Canada imposed sanctions on 5 Russian individuals, including billionaire Roman Abramovich, and is barring 32 Russian companies and government entities from receiving defense equipment or supplies from Canada. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said in Warsaw on Friday that, however, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky is optimistic that Ukraine will win over Russia. At least 4 Ukrainian soldiers were also killed and 6 others injured on Friday in the Russian strikes on the Luhansk military airport in northwest Ukraine. Russia agrees to follow repairs on power lines near Chernobyl. After Aam Aadmi Party won 92 of the 117 seats in the Punjab Assembly elections, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a tweet, congratulated Aam Aadmi Party for its win and assured all possible supports from the centre for Punjab's welfare. And on the other hand, Aam Aadmi Party's chief candidate Bhagwant Mann said that he will take the oath of office in freedom fighter Bhagwat Singh's ancestral village Katkar Kalan. Indian students evacuated from the embattled Ukrainian city of Sumy landed on Friday. Notably, 3 special flights were operated by India on Friday, 1 each by Air India, Indigo and the IAF from Rezazov to Delhi to bring back 600 students evacuated from northeastern Ukrainian city Sumy. The flights landed at the Hindon Air Base and Indira Gandhi International Airport on Friday. It may be mentioned that the evacuees from Sumy were from different states, including Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, Punjab and Haryana. India has evacuated over 20,000 of its citizens from war-torn Ukraine's neighboring countries such as Romania, Hungary, Slovakia and Poland, as the Ukrainian airspace has been shut since February 24 due to the Russian military offensive. Meanwhile, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar lauded authorities who facilitated the smooth conduct of Operation Ganga launched by India. The minister particularly thanked the authorities in Ukraine and Russia along with the Red Cross for the evacuation assistance. And Jaishankar also noted that the evacuation from Ukraine's Sumy was a challenging feat. Furthermore, the External Affairs Minister appreciated his cabinet colleagues Jyotiraditya Scindia, Kiren Rijiju, Hardeep Singh Puri and VK Singh for their presence on the ground in the neighboring countries of Ukraine. Indian shuttler Saina Nehwal on Thursday lost in the second round of women's singles clash in the ongoing German Open in Western Energy Sport Hall. Nehwal was defeated by 2013 world champion Ratchnok Itanon from Thailand in a match that lasted for 31 minutes. Earlier in the day, two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu also lost in her second round against China's Zhang Yiman in a match that lasted for 55 minutes. Chief Minister Biren Singh on Friday said that the Bharatiya Janata parties will not make any coalition with the National People's Party in the state. He further stated that the NPF and some independent candidates also expressed their willingness to support them, but the decision will be taken in consultation with the central leaders. The party won 32 out of 60 seats in Manipur. Thank you, viewers. That's all from NLTV Primetime News. I'm Rinki Gogoi signing off. But for more updates, keep watching Nagaland TV. Sob Manulagawas.
Nagaland TV, Sob Manulaga Awas. Watch